Hey everyone! In this video today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this mini dovetail friendship bracelet. Don't get me wrong, I do love the version that Alex and Masha have both made on the original dovetail pattern. Except it is 22 strings if I remember right, and I personally don't enjoy making bracelets that big. But then I found this pattern on Bracelet book and absolutely love it. I think it is perfect for my own taste. And you still sort of get that dovetail design that is in the original pattern. So if you want to learn how to make this smaller version of a dovetail bracelet, then go ahead and keep on watching. So ignore the fact that I've already started this pattern. I just figured I would do a few rows to start and then film the tutorial because it might make it easier to look at while we go through the pattern. So for this bracelet, you are going to need 12 strings. And for this pattern, we only need 3 different colors, which means you will need 4 strings of each of your 3 colors. As far as how long your strings need to be, I would say go between 35 and 40 inches depending on how long you want your bracelet to be. When I did my first bracelet, I actually ran out of string at the bottom and had to add new ones in to finish the last bit of the pattern that I had. And even though this is totally fine to do, it's kind of a pain in the butt and adds more time to your knotting. And so I did about 37 inches this time, and typically my bracelets are 5.5 inches long. And going from the outside to our center here, you want to order your strings 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And because we do mirror a little bit throughout this bracelet, just keep in mind your sort of center line. So to start off, we are only going to pay attention to this first blue section that I have here. What I'm going to do first is take my outermost left and right strings and bring them to the middle. So starting on the left, I'm going to pick up my outermost left string and do forward knots on the next 5 strings to the right of it to bring it to the middle. So go ahead and do that. And then we want to go over to the right side and take our outermost right strand and do backward knots on these next 5 strands to bring it to the middle. And then you want to take your 2 middle strands and you want to close up this tiny little gap up here. So you can do whatever knot you want since these are the same color, but I'm just going to go ahead and do a forward knot. And then I'm going to go ahead and start on the left side. So we are going to be working on this area right up here. We have this little outside piece, and then we close it off, and then we do our little dovetail section. So in order to do that, I am going to take my second string from the left, which will be my 3rd color, and I am going to do a backward knot on the string to the left of it. And then we want to close that little knot up, so you will go to your 3rd string from the left, which will be your 1st color, and do backward knots on these next 2 strands to the left of it. And now we want to work on our left dovetail. So I'm going to go ahead and take my right side strings, put them off to the side because I will not be focusing on these right now. And it's just easier to look at small pieces at a time instead of the whole thing. It's less overwhelming, at least in my opinion. So we have these 6 strings right now. And what I'm going to do first is take my 2 middle strands, which will be my second color, and I am just going to do a knot with them. And they're the same color, so like I said before, it doesn't matter what knot you make. And then referring up to here, I want to add this extra piece right here. So you will take your third color strand on both sides and bring them to the middle. I'm taking the second strand from the left and doing a forward knot onto the string to the right of it. And then I'm coming over to the second strand from the right and doing a backward knot onto the string to the left of it. And then I am going to close this dovetail up with a knot with my 2 middle strands. And while I'm still on the left side, I'm actually going to go ahead and sort of preemptively open up this middle dovetail piece right here. And to do that, I'm going to take my outermost right strand and only do backward knots on these next 2 strands to the left of it. And now I have that left side finished for now, so I am just going to gather up these strings here and put them off to the side, and then bring back the right side. And then we're just going to kind of mirror what we did on the left, but on the right side. So from the right, I am going to take my second strand and do a forward knot onto the string to the right of it. And then I want to close this little knot up, so I'm going to go to the third string from the right, which will be my first color, and do forward knots on these next 2 strands. And then we are going to do another one of these dovetails, except on the right side now, of course. So take your 2 middle strands, which will be your second color, and do a knot with them. I am just doing a forward knot here. And then, second string from the left, I'm going to do just 1 forward knot onto the string to the right of it. And then we want to come to our second string from the right and do a backward knot onto the string to the left of it. And then we're going to close this little dovetail up by making a knot with these middle 2 strands. And then again, I am going to open up the dovetail on this side by taking my outermost left strand in this section and doing 2 forward knots on these next 2 strings to the right of it. And now we are going to move on to our final center dovetail section. And what I'm going to do actually is just take these middle 4 strands and only focus on them, just to make it easier on myself. So we have these 4 here. It'll be your second and third color. And what I'm going to do is take these middle 2 strands, just like we've been doing on the left and right side, and I'm going to make a forward knot with these 2 strings. And then on the left side, I am going to do a forward knot onto the string to the right of it. And then on the right side, I am going to do a backward knot on the string to the left of it. And then I'm going to take the newest 2 middle strands and just make a forward knot. But like I said before, you can make any knot you want with the same color. And now we want to close up this whole section here like we have up here. And again, what we will do is just take our outermost left and right strands and bring them to the middle. So on my left side, I am going to take this outermost left strand and do forward knots on the next 5 of my strings to bring it to the middle. And then I'm going to take my outermost right strand here, and I'm going to do backward knots on to the next 5 of these strands to also bring it to the middle. And then, one last time, take your 2 middle strands and tie them into a knot to close up this whole section. And those are the steps that you will follow to work up your whole dovetail bracelet. So we just worked on our section of our first color, and then you will see that the color order is going to change from first to second color, and so on. So you can start this from the beginning again if you need to follow the steps again. But just keep in mind that we are now on to a new color and our color order has shifted a little bit, even though the steps to follow it are going to be completely the same. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I am super bad at promoting my social media, but you can find the links to those in the description box, and I will see you in the next one.